Hello, everybody. I'm Alaoglous. I'm happy to be with you today to present how to successfully deliver MDM initiatives while gaining time and budget. At Apgar, and based on market needs and thanks to our wide experience in master data and metadata management, we have developed multiple pre-configured solutions that address specific business use cases. So instead of building solutions from scratch, we decided to leverage the best existing technologies to build an applicative layer that tackles our customers' common needs and accelerate their project. We actually see the outcome of it. For instance, MDM implementations are 40 to 60% faster, requiring less workload. In addition to time and budget saving, of course, the accelerators capture market best practices around the data modeling and data governance. So at the stage of fit gap analysis, we actually notice 70% compatibility of our pre-configured solutions with our customer needs. For customers, suppliers, and finance master data, and even higher when it comes to reference data. Our solutions are based on TIBCO stack. They are validated by TIBCO. All of them are compliant with latest best practices for data as a service architecture and CI/CD, and leveraging also metadata to control the solution behavior on UI and governance and even APIs. Let's now have a quick look over these accelerators, starting with the reference data management. Reference data are key for smooth data integration and reporting. What adds complexity to it is that there are many reference data. And they are distributed across the IT landscape, and their governance is not always clear. Our RDM solution brings easiness to the management of these values. First of all, we have created one unique data structure to manage all reference data. Then the responsibilities are defined per reference list and can be updated on the fly at any time, and collaborative workflows that are embedded will adapt automatically to apply the new responsibilities. This makes it easier to onboard new reference lists. And especially with little cost, this is very important when it comes to reference data, because organizations need to have a scalable solution to be able to manage the hundreds of references that they have. Another advantage is the ability to add on the fly extended attributes, because not all reference data are just composed of code and the description. So you need to be able to add more properties per reference list. And these extended attributes will behave as regular fields of the model. So no need to have the intervention of a new developer when you need to add new properties. Last but not least, the fact that our RDM solution is based on TIBCO EBX is a very important advantage. EBX is also a multi-domain solution. So this means that the reference data are directly available for use inside your master data domains with zero integration efforts. Moving to finance domain, so Apgar Finance Domain Accelerator provides really a bigger advantage to move faster with implementing finance domain master data management in the context of S4, SAP S4 especially. Actually, it delivers already an embedded MDM, data model fully compatible with SAP, by the way, in both versions, ECC and S4. And it also embeds the required controls to make sure when data is created in MDM, it is compatible and will be integrated smoothly in the ERP. What differentiated is the ability to easily implement our customers' governance model for finance master data. First, because it has the ability to define authorizations for stewards and approvers on global level, regional level, country level, and even company code level. Whatever the level is, the embedded collaborative workflows will apply the configuration defined by the administrator. Second is the ability to have local level properties from an SAP perspective managed on global level. This is a requirement that we encounter usually and that is made standard by our solution. We usually also encounter a requirement for a very strong data monitoring for financial master data. And so we have solved it by by tracking each request, who did it, when, why, tag each data that was modified by that request, also the actors and the messages that they exchanged until the event publishing by the API, and even the acknowledgement that the data is well received by the arcade systems. Finally, in the very challenging context of transitioning from ECC to S4, MDM Accelerator here can help building the bridge between the model of ECC and S4. So steerers can create their master data in MDM following ECC model. The solution will translate it into S4 format, will push the data to the corresponding system, each version to each corresponding system, and will maintain a mapping between both. So of course, this adds a very important support for migration process. On the business partners, so same concept as for finance. It's an outstanding opportunity to implement fast business partners, so customers, suppliers, domains, especially in the context of S4. So looking into the solution, the data objects, so business partners, customers, and suppliers are integrated together easily. We can navigate between them. The model and default data quality controls are implemented in order to have a smooth integration of the data into the ERP. And of course, the data model remains flexible to add more properties, such as the ones needed by the CRM or by a sourcing system. This is important because it allows a full 360 view over third-party data. We benefit also from the powerful toolbox offered by the underlying technology, TIBCO EBX. First, to implement multiple types of hierarchies, not only the transactional one that is needed by the ERP. And second, to embed APIs and workflows to implement a hybrid architecture. So acquiring data through inbound objects, enriching and controlling the data through collaborative workflows, producing a golden record, distributing it to consuming systems, so through event-based or more classical integration. I would like to close my presentation with a recurring question. Many organizations wonder where is the best place to manage their reference data. Is it the ERP or dedicated MDM tool? They actually see big challenge in defining the ERP as a single source of truth for master data, as it can never have a full coverage and comply with all IT landscape requirements around master data modeling and governance. ERP also will be limited around the capability to integrate with all different technologies or the different data exchange architectures. And these two elements so bring a more rational for the use of the dedicated MDM solution, independent MDM solution. But at the same time, our customers are worried about the success of the integration between MDM and DRP. So our accelerators are there to solve that and reassure them, as the data model, the governance, the APIs are compatible with DRP, and they are already present in the solution and have proven their value. I would like to thank you for this very quick presentation. To know more about our accelerators, contact us or go to our YouTube channel. Now I leave you for a quick demo of our business partner accelerator. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Melissa, product owner of Apgar MDM Business Partner Accelerator. Together, we will go through TIBCO EBX to check out what are the main features and to understand more what are the capabilities of this accelerator. To start, business partner, as the terminology says it, it's any partner of a certain client. Today, we have identified two main types of business partner, which are customers and suppliers. And one of the main advantages and flexibilities of this accelerator is to be able later on to add more types of business partner. For example, and what we have identified so far in some projects are the BP employees and the business partners that are banks, and so on based on the need. And to be able to grant that flexibility, what we have is a division of the different attributes of a certain business partner. So what we have is the business partner data, which is the general data, and we have underneath this the customer data and the supplier data. The business partner data is shared, and in that matter, one of the other features of the accelerator is the capability to have a business partner that is at the same time a customer and a supplier, sharing the same ID, which we call BP Golden ID, which is the unique identifier of a business partner. And under those two, so customer and supplier, we have the dedicated data for each. So on business partner, for example, we can have the address, we can have the different roles of a business partner, we can even have any bank detail that we have. And for customer, we can have the data such as the partner functions, the company code, the sales area. And for supplier, it can be as well company code, purchase organization, partner functions. Now, if we open the tool, as you can see, we will enter into the home page. In this page, we will have some quick actions and quick views. Some of them will allow us to create customers and to update customers, and also for suppliers, meaning direct access to the workflow of creation and update. And on another hand, we have the quick views, which is direct access to the customer view and supplier view, or even to the hierarchies. So here, as you can see, in the toolbar, we have the customer and the supplier, and with it comes some of the main subtables that belong to customer, and as well for the supplier, some of the main subtables of supplier. So here, if I open the customer, okay, as explained earlier, so we have the BP general data and we have the customer data. So, and to make it more easy and more user-friendly for a certain user to see what he has, we have implemented something we call one screen. This one screen will combine both the BP general data and the customer data into one view in a certain customer record. And that way, the user does not have to open somewhere the BP data and another where the customer data. So here, as you can see, we have general data, we have customer related data, for example, pricing, marketing, payment, and also what we have is the addresses, which we already said that it is a general data. We can have also the company code data, and we can have as well the life cycle data, which is the status of the customer, and we're gonna go back to that later. And we have the tracking data, which is by whom it was created, when, and when it was last modified. And the same as applied for suppliers. So we will have the one screen supplier that has also some general data and some dedicated data. Now, this accelerator was built based on the challenges we already faced with our previous customers. And most importantly, one challenge which is sending the data into other applications, and in particular to SAP S4. So what we have today is an outbound interface that allows us to send data to any consuming application using two things, which are the event publishing and the exposure of a REST API. And why we started with this idea is to be able to really match the SAP S4 data model. And based on our new clients, our data model presented in this accelerator matches almost 70% of the SAP S4 data model. So it grants both the MDM data model point of view and the SAP S4 data model point of view, which eases the link between the two and making the outbound interface easy and straightforward with S4 with the least of transformations. But not only that, and because the main focus is to let MDM be the source of truth for business partner data, this allows us also to send the data to any other consuming application. For example, can be reporting applications, can be marketing applications, any application. And to not only limit it to that, we have an inbound interface which allows us to take the data from any source application. So what we do is that we expose a REST API, and any source application can send data throughout this inbound API. But to make sure that the data is valid and consistent, always there is a validation workflow, which is either creation or update, that is triggered either when the data is sent from an outside source or when the data is directly created or updated in EBX, the validation process is launched. This validation process, of course, it's different between customers and suppliers, will go through different validators. For example, we have the master data validator, we have the CFO, we have several validators to validate. And in order to enforce valid and correct data, no matter what is the source of the data, either from a source that is external to EBX or if it is direct creation or update inside the accelerator, there is always a validation process that the data will go through in order to ensure that it is well approved by the corresponding roles. So in that case, what we would have, for example, for customers is the MDM manager, we have the CFO, and we have maybe the commercial controller, etc. And for suppliers as well, we have a set of roles that will validate the data depending on what is the creation and what is the update. Besides that, and while talking about the roles, we have one important feature that allows us to help the user to reach the data that is really in the entity in which he is. Meaning, we have this table that is called the link user to company code that you can find on both supplier and customer level that will link a user to a certain entity code, so to a certain company code. And that way, we trigger and we target for each user what is the data that he can see and what is the data that he should validate. And that way, so a certain CFO, let's say, that belongs to the company code of France, will only receive validation requests for business partners that are in France. And same case for any other role. But to be able to have an overall management, we have some roles that to which this rule does not apply. For example, the MDM manager, which should be granted any access to all the tables and to all the data to make sure that it is consistent. And finally, we can talk about the BP lifecycle. So a certain customer or a certain supplier can go through different stages and different statuses. So when it starts, upon creation, we have the draft status, which allows the user that is requesting the creation to fulfill and finish his customer or supplier. Then, once it's validated by the different validators, it becomes active. And on another matter, we have two different statuses, which are the blocked and the inactive. So when a customer or supplier is no longer active, we can put it to inactive. And when a certain customer or supplier is temporarily, for example, blocked for a certain issue or for some missing information, the status can be set to blocked. Finally, I hope that this quick demo helped you really understand what are the key points and main advantages of this BP Accelerator. And of course, for any question, please reach out to any of Apgar team to help you to understand more. Thank you.